This is the GQ Coaches Show with coaches Goins and Quick, brought to you by the United States Basketball Association, the leader in youth basketball, USBAHoops.com. Now, get ready to chop it up with your hosts, Coaches G and Q, for the real talk in sports.
All right, hey, it's Monday night, and you know what time it is. This is Coach Goins along with Coach Quick, and we're back in for another dynamic episode of the GQ Coaches Show. Coach, man, I know, you know what? It is hot and heavy in ACC basketball. How you doing today, Coach?
I'm doing absolutely wonderful, Coach G. Looking forward to great March Madness coming up soon. We're in the month of February. Hey, getting ready to lock and load it and make sure those sneakers are laced up tight for some tournament basketball.
Well, you know what? I know you've been back down Tobacco Road, but this time you're kind of in the Medical City. So tell us what's popping.
Hey, I'm so excited, Coach G, about our very special guest via telephone tonight. I feel like I'm posted up inside Cameron Indoor Stadium at the mid-court line, waiting on a Duke basketball legend to come by and chop it up with Coach G and Coach Q. So after this short break, ladies and gentlemen, we're coming right back. So make sure those sneakers are laced up tight.
You're listening to Coaches G and Q chopping it up.
Hey, Coach, you got me hyped, man. You know what? I kind of know what's going on behind the scenes, but you know what? I'm going to let you do the honor and the privilege.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce to some and present to others. He is the head men's basketball coach of the Fayetteville Stingers of the Basketball League. He is also a Duke Blue Devil legend. Ladies and gentlemen, put those hands together and welcome to the GQ Coaches Show, Mr. Robert Brickey.
I need to hire you to be my hype man full time. you knock that out of the park, man. Look, hey, look, I'm gonna call y'all the law firm of Quick and Going.
Well, you know,
but look, it's good to be with you brothers again, man. It's been a minute. I'm excited. Matter of fact, y'all don't even know this. I am sitting at the Washington Duke Hotel on the campus of Duke University.
excuse me.
I won't be here until Sunday. I won't go stick around and watch the game tomorrow. So I'm gonna catch a little Duke hoops action this weekend.
Well, you know what? You know what, Coach Quick and Coach Brickey, I think I may be underdressed. If he's already in Durham State, he might be in Shasheskyville, Coach Quick. I don't know what he's got going on, but we're gonna find out. Hey, but before we get into this, we want to let everybody know that we are in a Set the Table segment, which is brought to you by the United States Basketball Association. So visit their website at USBAHoops.com. Coach Quick, I know this is gonna be kind of tough on you, knowing that you from across about 7-8 miles away over there in Chapel Hill, but we do have on a Duke legend today. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and kick it to you, Coach.
Hey, absolutely. Got to show the Blue Devils some love. Hey, Coach Brickey, tell our listening audience who Robert Brickey is.
Oh, man, listen, that's a tough question, man. That's a broad question, but I'll try to narrow it down. But currently, my day is structured like this. I'm a radio host in the morning. I do a morning motivation show on WIDU radio out of Fayetteville, Christian Station. My day job, I'm a financial advisor and benefits specialist and life insurance agent. So financial services is my life. And then in the evenings, I'm a basketball coach. So I've got full days most days.
Yeah, absolutely. It sounds like you got a full body of work going on, Coach Brickey. And, man, I've listened to your radio show on WIDU. I especially enjoyed your March Madness segments last year when you and Coach Goins was dialing it up. Man, I had fun driving to work that morning, I tell you that. Yes, sir.
Well, but this next year, I have both you guys on this year. Let's put together some kind of informal pool. We'll put together a pool.
Yes,
and just have some fun with it. We'll get on the air. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about who you think's going to win it, who win the upsets, going to lie, all that. We'll have some fun with it.
Yeah, it was definitely a lot of fun. Yes, sir. All right. My next question. You were recently hired as the head coach of the Fayetteville Stingers of the Basketball League. Tell us how that came about and and are you excited to get it going?
Man, I am really excited for a couple of reasons. One, it is my hometown, and never would I thought I would have had an opportunity to coach a professional team in my hometown. Two, it came about when I had coached in the TBO before. I coached the Raleigh team in 2019, and we started out in 2020, but COVID took out that season. And when I found out it was a franchise awarded to Fayetteville, I reached out to the owner, and I said, "Hey, I would be interested in finding out what you want to do with this team." And I said, and I was very blatant. I said, "Listen, if you want to sell tickets and win games, I'm not your guy. But if you want to have an impact on this community and impact the lives of some young people and win, I'm your guy." And so our ideologies really worked out, and we were on the same page. I mean, they were really community oriented, and they really wanted this thing to be great for the city of Fayetteville. So it was a natural match, and we had already gotten started. We've had some tryouts. And in fact, this weekend they have a league-wide combine in Indianapolis, and I will have to stream that because I'm actually half working, half playing. So I'm going to have to spend a couple hours tomorrow and Sunday watching the combine because we'll have a draft on Sunday night. So, but it's a full basketball weekend for me.
Absolutely, yeah. You're getting ready to get it started, and man, I know that's special to be back in your hometown to coach a professional team in your hometown is very special. And like you said, you're definitely going to have an impact on the community, being the head coach of the Fayetteville Stingers. And man, I can tell you this, Coach Goins and we're very excited for you, and we're looking forward to big and better things coming to the Fayetteville community with the Stingers.
And I'm excited too. We need to get you guys come in and maybe at a game one night, maybe do a live broadcast of the game.
Watch out.
Something, man. So, you guys do a great job, and I appreciate you. So anytime that we can work together, just if you got any ideas, just let me know. We'll make it happen.
Absolutely. We there. Coach G, I'm going to kick it over to you.
Well, you know what what I was really excited about that, Coach Brickey and Coach Quick is here's what I want our listener audience to dial in. Coach Brickey didn't wait till the ship docked. He wasn't standing on the dock of the bay. No knock on Otis Redding and on the song, but he got in. He didn't wait till he got in the water and went and got his ship. So here's what here's what the Stingers owner, Mr. Ken Bishop, said about Coach Robert Brickey. He says, "Coach Robert," and I'm quoting, "Coach Robert Brickey brings a ton of experience and knowledge of the game. More importantly, his commitment to the community, developing and mentoring the youth is exactly what we're looking for in our leaders. Coach Brickey is a great coach, but even a better man." So you know what? There is no doubt, without in my mind, that this will be legendary. It will be a huge impact for not just Cumberland County, but all surrounding counties. And so we challenge everybody in that listening audience. You load up your kids. You looking for some family, great family stuff. Go out, see Coach Brickey, invest in that, and guess what? You won't be disappointed. So here's where I want to go. I want to kind of go back. And as I was doing my research, Coach Quick, and we talked about this, Coach Brickey, before we came on the air, there was a record that was in existence at Duke University for 23 years. And that was actually included Coach Brickey. He had 147 dunks. And he held that record for 23 years. Now, Mr. Mason Plumlee came in and beat it in 2013. But however, this is where I want to go on the air and say, he may have the record, but they weren't as flashy as your dunks.
This is a true story. So my freshman year, I'm playing with Danny Fair. And Danny, if people don't know that, Danny was a pretty big time jokester. And so I stole like 2 or 3 games in a row, I got a steal and a dunk. He said, that's just a regular dunk. Anybody can do that. So this is how Danny would kind of agitate guys. He said, that's just a regular dunk. You need to do something more fancy, man. And then so I said, next time I got dunked, I did something a little more fancy. He said, still not good enough. So he was just egging me on all season long about doing fancy dunks. And so he made it fun though. And we had a lot of fun with it. But, it's just one of those things I like to do because you get the crowd into the game. And sometimes you overlook the moving in your direction and the crowd is behind you, I think you play at a natural flow. So dunks usually, with a lot of times, the spark that got that flow going.
Well, you're exactly right, because I can tell you what, Coach Wick, I remember he smashed one when Digger Phelps was at the helm at Notre Dame, right? And I think David Rivers might have been. I can't remember exactly who, and I don't want to misquote, but I know Robert Brickey came down. They went Notre Dame, and it was like electric. I mean, that's what I'm dating myself, because that's when college basketball used to be pretty big on NBC. So that's back in the day. But he definitely had a heck of a smash. But look, what we're gonna do, Coach Quick, before we get into that next, we're gonna step away, hear from our sponsors, but via telephone, we're so excited to have Duke legend and current head basketball coach of the Fayetteville Stingers, Mr. Robert Brickey, and we'll be right back.
Hey, this is Pete Chilcutt, North Carolina Tar Heel and NBA champion. You're listening to the GQ Coaches Show on ESPN Radio 1240, The Boss.
The United States Basketball Association, the USBA, was founded in 2005. The USBA has been a leader in grassroots basketball tournaments and camps for boys and girls of all ages across the United States, Canada, and Puerto Rico. It is our goal to develop young people and equip them with skills that will help them advance both on and off the court. Visit their website at usbahoops.com. Their email is info@usbahoops.com or by telephone at 704-649-6812. All basketball, all the time. And thank you for playing USBA.
Looking for something fun but different to do? Join a group of friends, family, or co-workers to destroy electronics, break some glass, or even throw some axes. At the Havoc House located downtown Waynesboro, Virginia, visit their website at havochouseva.com and book your appointment today.
There's a lot of reasons why people trust Chris Montgomery at Alcova Mortgage. They have a diverse lineup of loan programs, so whether you're looking to buy a home, refinance, or tackle college expenses with your equity, you can put Chris Montgomery at Alcova Mortgage in the game for you. Call 540-290-0558 or go online to alcova.com/C Montgomery.
Hey, this is Chris Spatola, and you're listening to the GQ Coaches Show on ESPN Radio 1240, The Boss, the real talk in sports.
All right, this is Coach Goins along with Coach Quick, and we're back in with a very special guest via telephone, head basketball coach of the Fayetteville Stingers, Mr. Robert Brickey. That name sounds familiar, so don't you touch that dial. So, hey, before we get in this segment, it is brought to you by Mr. Chris Montgomery of Alcova Mortgage. And when it's time to get in the game, call Chris Montgomery at 540-290-0558. Coach Quick, we're in the game plan, and I'm going to kick it to you.
Yes, sir. Coach Brickey, playing at Duke University for the GOAT, Coach K. How did that mold and shape you into the man and the coach you are today?
Coach, I was very fortunate. I've had great coaches all my life, starting with my parents. A lot of my teachers, my middle school coach, my high school coach, and the Coach K. So I am a composite of a lot of people who kept me moving in the right direction, even though sometimes when you're young, you may make some decisions that aren't so smart. They still hugged me and encouraged me and kept me going in the right way. So, and I learned a lot from Coach K just by observation. There was never a coach in America that was more prepared than he was. And you talk about detail-oriented, and then a great leader, and then in a way, and he can do it in a way in which he can get guys to buy in. Because, when you are the player of the year from your state, All-American, McDonald's All-American, there's only a handful of those guys. But when you got to Duke, everybody was that guy. And, so you had to figure out a way to get these guys to play together, to blend in, guys to buy into their roles. So, just preparation, being prepared, being understanding what leadership means, being able to understand the game, being able to teach the game in a way where players can understand and get it, and then execute and put themselves in position to win. Those are all things I do, either if I'm on the radio in the morning, if I'm in my day-to-day business, or if I'm coaching in the evening. So I take all those lessons I learned from him. And there's many more. We just don't have time to get into them all.
Absolutely. And you're pretty grounded, Coach Brickey. And like you said, you learned a lot from him as well as your parents. Coach Ike, the legendary Ike Walker, man, it's just, man, a great body of work so far. Just keep doing what you're doing and making the adjustments in life and showing these guys what it's about to be a professional basketball player.
Oh, yeah, listen, one of the things that, as you get older, you learn some things, and I want to certainly use this platform with Fayetteville Stingers to be a blessing in community, which we talked about. But to talk to young men about growing into being what it means to be a man. And it's amazing what you can talk about inside those basketball lines. And there are days where literally I will put it on my practice schedule. I need to talk to this young man about something related to life. And I'll have it scheduled in my practice. I know at some point I'm going to pull it aside and talk about whatever the situation is, and just trying to help them understand how to get from where they are to where they're trying to go, and the challenges involved, and how you face those challenges. So it's if you look at all that I do, really, my mother was an educator. She was a teacher in the Cumberland County school system for 36 years. I'm the same person. Everything I do is about trying to help and teach people, help people get better. And that's my mission in life. So I have fun and I enjoy doing that.
Absolutely. Hey, Coach G, as we always say here on the GQ Coaches Show, always on the grind. Coach Brickey is always on the grind, and he's turning these young men and teaching them about life lessons, and that's what I love about it. I'll kick it over to you, Coach G.
Well, I thought you were gonna throw me a lob, man. I thought I was gonna be able to, I'm permanently grounded, but I thought you might have pointed up toward the rafters. And I'd have been like,
get up like Coach Brickey?
No. All right, so here's where I want to go. So, as it relates to the Stingers, Coach, what is your vision and what style of basketball do you want to play and why?
Man, listen, we'll need 10 shows for me to explain that, but I'll try to encapsulate it for you. We really want to run, but we want to run smart. So here's my evaluation. I watch a lot of basketball, and I'm constantly evaluating the game and the changes in the game, et cetera. And these are the things that I think help teams win. If I'm on offense, if I can constantly make the defense have to engage and think. So if they got to make one decision, well, they got a chance to be successful on defense. But if we make them make 5 decisions, but probably chances are there'll be a breakdown in communication somewhere, which gives us an advantage, which means we should get a great shot. We get great shots all night long. We have an opportunity to win. And defensively, same thing. The lowest percentage shots you can take is a 3. We're going to let you shoot most of those, but we're not giving up paint touches and paint points. So our defense is going to be structured where we do a lot of help and trap and rotate, because if we can keep you shooting 15 to 30 feet, well, you're going to shoot 30-something% of the game, typically. If we can shoot 47% and get paint touches, fouls, and free throw line, put you in foul trouble, statistically, we should be in a position to win. So I got to have guys that can flip this game, that can execute this game, and do it in a fashion where you got to think quickly and react quickly and make the right decision. So it'll be fun to watch for the fans, because we'll get up and down, we'll trap, we'll do a lot of things, but underneath all that, there's a lot of strategy that goes into what we're doing.
Well, we certainly appreciate you allowing us to take a glimpse inside the vision of what's going to be happening with the Fayetteville Stingers. Coach Quick, what you got?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, who we have on is Coach Robert Brickey. He is the head coach of the Fayetteville Stingers, and he is a Duke legend. As we close out our game plan segment, it is brought to you by Chris Montgomery of Alcova Mortgage. When it's time to get in the game, call Chris at 540-290-0558, and we'll be right back.
There's a lot of reasons why people trust Chris Montgomery at Alcova Mortgage. They have a diverse lineup of loan programs. So whether you're looking to buy a home, refinance, or tackle college expenses with your equity, you can put Chris Montgomery and Alcova Mortgage in the game for you. Call 540-290-0558 or go online to alcova.com/C Montgomery.
Looking for something fun but different to do? Join a group of friends, family, or co-workers to destroy electronics, break some glass, or even throw some axes. At the Havoc House located downtown Waynesboro, Virginia, visit their website at havochouseva.com and book your appointment today.
The United States Basketball Association, the USBA, was founded in 2005. The USBA has been a leader in grassroots basketball tournaments and camps for boys and girls of all ages across the United States, Canada, and Puerto Rico. It is our goal to develop young people and equip them with skills that will help them advance both on and off the court. Visit their website at usbahoops.com. Their email is info@usbahoops.com or by telephone at 704-649-6812. All basketball, all the time. And thank you for playing USBA.
Hey, this is Coach Mike Apple, head men's basketball coach and athletic director of Sand Hills Community College, and you're listening to the GQ Coaches Show, the real talk in sports on ESPN Radio 1240, The Boss.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back in, so we hope that your Monday evening is, well, you know what? We ain't hoping. We know it's locked and loaded because you're listening to the GQ Coaches Show right here on 1240 ESPN Radio, The Boss. As we move into our timeout segment, which is brought to you by the Havoc House of Waynesboro, Virginia. So make sure you make your appointment today at 540-447-1362 and come in swinging. Coach Quick, man, I know you got that haymaker question. I see it on my sheet, and there's no way I'm going to ask that question, and it's got the word Carolina and rivalry in it. So I'm going to let you ask that question.
Absolutely. Coach Brickey, let's talk the Duke versus Carolina rivalry and what it means to you. And what are your expectations with Shire and Davis at the helms of two of the most prestigious universities in America?
I tell you what, man, it's refreshing to see some new blood in the coaching ranks. But we had to give up two legends to do it, Roy and Coach K. But, I think if I gave a coaching advantage to anybody, I'd give it to Hubert Davis, simply because he's in his second year in that seat. And that first year, man, things are going a million miles an hour. And it takes some time before things slow down, where your thinking, your blood pressure, and your thought, and your mind, your actions are calm and well thought out. But it takes time for that, because things are flying around, moving around, and guys can't think on the fly.
Yep.
They can't think on the fly. And I'm sure this happens with Shire. Maybe it's slowing down now, but it takes a good year. And both teams, I think, still trying to find their identities. They both had some injury problems, but this rivalry is amazing, man. The way guys go at it, fans go at it, and we all have fun with it. It's incredible, and it's one of the most special events in all of sports.
Absolutely. It gets no bigger and better than the Duke-Carolina rivalry. And as you said, man, we had to give up two legends to get some new blood at the helm. But I think both programs are in great hands with John Shire and Hubert Davis. They both have shown a willpower to be able to recruit talented kids, and now it's just time to get those kids and mold them and shape them into to great basketball players.
Absolutely, absolutely.
All right, Coach G, I'll kick it back over to you.
So I gotta ask this. I gotta ask this Duke legend a question in reference to that game. What being you guys would be on campus? Y'all playing Chapel Hill, or you playing Carolina in Chapel Hill? Would y'all like put your suit on or how would y'all travel like 8 miles down the road?
Well, the good thing about the school's been in such close proximity is you would get dressed for the game at Duke and just get on the bus and take it on in. And then, so it was an easier transition than having to say get to UVA, which is just a difficult place to get to. You got to bus it just a little while, but going 8 miles to Chapel Hill, that was the easiest trip, man, because it was almost like a home game in terms of getting ready and dressed, but you just had to run down the road to the Dean Dome.
You know what, Coach Quick, man, when he said that, I was just like, man, it's almost like, we just gonna jump in everybody's car and ride over there. Just be like, don't get on the bus. Everybody jump in about four cars and then roll up over there.
With me, you get a couple.
Exactly.
We ride down there.
It's just like you're in high school and going to McDonald's after a ball game or something. Say, we going to Chapel Hill. Everybody, where Coach K? He'll get he's in somebody's car. Let's get on over there. But when you think about that, and as long as those institutions have been in existence, and the elite players that have played in that game, it's priceless. It's such, and like you said to me, and somebody's asked me before, they said, have you ever been to a Duke Carolina game? I said, man, that's like a ticket to the Super Bowl. What are you talking about? I said that game is like, that is you. If you've had the honor and privilege of watching that game in person, that is like going to the Final Four. That is a bucket list game. To be able to walk in and be able to see that. So here's my question where I want to go. Everybody's, and we would like to ask, because you've been there, what is your thought process on the transfer portal and the NIL?
Oh, man, listen, we need a whole series to get into all the detail on that, man. But it's like most things. If you don't adapt to change, you die. And the NCAA understood, man, if we don't change the way we do things, we will die, and there'll be another league come along and did it better than we did because we didn't have the foresight to get in front of it. Look, think about this. Y'all are old enough to remember a couple of these things. You remember a reel-to-reel player?
Without a doubt.
8-track player?
Yes, sir.
Cassette player?
Yes, sir.
All those things are no longer here. Evolution. So, I think it's inevitable. I don't necessarily like it. I like the NIL, but I think they need to put some structure on it because I think now, I think in a way you're going to hurt some kids. You're going to drop $5 million on a kid who's never had anything. Is that going to help him or hurt him? Well, it's only going to help him or her if you come along with some education and some guidance and some growth. So, if you'd have dropped $5 million on me 18, I might not have made it to 19. So, I think they need to structure it where they put to them, okay, we give you some cash now, this and that. We're going to put the rest of this away in an annuity or some kind of investment. And then at some point you can access it, blah, blah, blah. But I think just haphazardly drop cash on kids, I don't think that's going to work out in the long run.
You know what? And I agree with you 100. Because back when you played and back when some of the other legends played, it was, it was very hard. You couldn't have a job. You sitting here and by the time you go academics and you go to practice and travel, right. And I'm like you. If you'd have dropped $5 million on me back in the '80s, and I was supposed to be going to the game, I might have took a left turn at Albuquerque. And they'd be like, where going's that? And they'd be like, man, I thought he got in the car with you. No, man, I ain't seen that dude, man. But, and you're exactly right. When you sit down and you give that young man or that young lady that type of money, you got to be able to say, hey, you know what? Here's some for a rainy day. Here's some that that you really need to do something with versus just, you rolling in there. And then plus, you give an allotment. And because if you're on scholarship and you got a meal plan and you're going and you got per diem and you got travel game, I mean, what are you doing with that kind of money besides maybe your parents flying coast to coast watching you play? But in that, Coach Quick, what would you do if you were sitting there and you had that NIL deal in front of you?
Man, I tell you what, to drop that many dollars on me, and if I was 18, 19 years old, I know it would be hard, but it would be hard to focus on anything other than that cash in your pocket. I'll be wanting to shop and do all of that, so I wish that they would teach these kids how to manage this money.
Yeah.
I think of the hunger. Are you going to have the same hunger to try to make it to the next level? Because when you broke, and there's a goal in front of you, your attitude is different.
That's right.
Yes.
But if they drop $5 million on you and you've never had any money, and I'm not still that the path from A to B is going to be a little different. So, and I think that could come with some big balls, man. It's just that's access to $5 million gives you access to a lot of things. And not all of them are good.
That's exactly right. And I'd fall up in there and then Coach Brick. Let me set this up for you right quick for you before I kick it over to you, Coach Quick. So say if I got an NIL deal and I'm playing for the Fayetteville Stingers and Coach Brickey said, "Goins, why you late coming to practice?" So Coach, I had to go check my account. I had my relay card. I just want to go over there and see them zeros on that relay machine. So all right, Coach Quick, I'll kick it to you.
Yes, sir. Coach Brickey, the ACC lost a true legend in Billy Packer recently. What are your thoughts and some memories on Billy Packer?
Oh, man, I have been listening to Billy Packer since like all my life. I remember him, I don't know if I should tell the story, in middle school. It used to be ACC tournament was on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And so on that Friday, we would all, in middle school, we'd all skip class and go down to our basketball coach's office and watch the ACC games on Friday. And Billy Packer called those games. And so, he's just been so good for the game, man. Just, he understands the game. He could talk the game. He could explain the game in a way that the general fan could get it. And he was just so beloved. Just had a good spirit. Loved it. You could tell he loved the game. So, that's a huge, huge loss for the basketball community.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. R.I.P. Coach Packer, true Wake Forest legend, great announcer on the college scene, man. And we're going to miss Coach Packer. And, as you said, the ACC just lost a true legend.
Right.
Absolutely. Coach G, I'll kick it over to you.
34 years straight, he called the Final Four.
Wow.
And so I'm going to date myself because I think I'm like maybe a year or two older than Coach Brickey. We used to watch. They used to roll the TVs in the classroom, and they switched the cable. And you were exactly right. ACC tournament was Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So Friday we go to school. We weren't doing the work. Was watching the ACC tournament. And here's a show, and we'll give honor to Coach Billy Packer. So the Packer Thacker show used to come on. That used to be like the highlight. Then you used to have the Raycom Sports Network and the Holly Farms Chicken Award. So in that, a good friend of ours, Ralph South, talking to Ralph, I said, how many times you win the Holly Farms Chicken Award? He said, enough times to never have to buy chicken ever again the rest of my life. But all of that to say those guys were trailblazers as announcing to be able to to make ACC basketball what it is today. So, hats off and rest in peace, Billy Packer. Coach Quick, what you got?
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. Hey, Coach Brickey, I'd just like to know, what do you think some of your greatest strengths and weaknesses are as a coach?
As a coach, that's a good question. I'll tell you what, I would say 15 years ago, I would have said I didn't pay as close attention to detail as I should have. And as I've aged, I've really began to understand how important it is. And that's why Coach K did such a fantastic job. His attention to detail is amazing. So I've grown in that area. emotional at basketball games anymore because I am so into the flow of the game, and I'm constantly trying to analyze what in real time what's happening, and are we doing things that are going to help push us toward winning? And if not, how do we change that in the midst of a game? While the game is going on, what adjustments can we make on the fly? Do we need to call timeout? So that used to be a weakness, but now I really think it's a strength because I'm so analytical when it comes without the emotion attached. And again, I'll jump off basketball to a personal subject, and I'm sure you two can relate. As you get older, you start understanding that you need peace inside. Yes. You got to have some inner peace because, otherwise, if I'm not peaceful on inside, it's going to come out when I interact or talk to people. And generally, your communication is poor when you don't have peace inside because whatever anger, agitation, or frustration you have is going to come out in conversation. That's going to affect your relationship with people. So if you take that and switch it back over to basketball, if I can do that with my players during practice and during games, well, man, I'm really establishing a culture of winning. But winning is not the point. It's playing well, execution, having fun, feeling good about what you're doing, having a game plan that we know will work. And if we do all the little things, all those things will come together, and we will win. And we never have to talk about winning.
Absolutely. Coach G, hey, I'll kick it over to you, but Coach Brickey is dropping dimes right now as the new head coach of the Fayetteville Stinkers.
So watch out. So, hey, listen, before we step away, we want to thank our sponsors, which is the Havoc House of Waynesboro, Virginia, for this timeout segment. So we're going to step away, but before we do, we've got our very special guests. We have head coach, Mr. Robert Brickey of the Fayetteville Stingers, along with Coach Quick. This is Coach Goins, and we'll be right back.
This is Matt Doherty, and you're listening to the GQ Coaches Show, the real talk in sport on ESPN Radio, 1240, The Boss.
The United States Basketball Association, the USBA, was founded in 2005. The USBA has been a leader in grassroots basketball tournaments and camps for boys and girls of all ages across the United States, Canada, and Puerto Rico. It is our goal to develop young people and equip them with skills that will help them advance both on and off the court. Visit their website at usbahoops.com. Their email is info@usbahoops.com or by telephone at 704-649-6812. All basketball, all the time. And thank you for playing USBA. There's a lot of reasons why people trust Chris Montgomery at Alcova Mortgage. They have a diverse lineup of loan programs. So whether you're looking to buy a home, refinance, or tackle college expenses with your equity, you can put Chris Montgomery at Alcova Mortgage in the game for you. Call 540-290-0558 or go online to alcova.com/C Montgomery.
Looking for something fun but different to do? Join a group of friends, family, or co-workers to destroy electronics, break some glass, or even throw some axes. At the Havoc House located downtown Waynesboro, Virginia, visit their website at havochouseva.com and book your appointment today.
Hey, this is Coach Mike Apple, head men's basketball coach and athletic director of Sand Hills Community College, and you're listening to the GQ Coaches Show, the real talk in sports on ESPN Radio 1240, The Boss.
All right, this is Coach Goins along with Coach Quick and our very special guest, head basketball coach of the Fayetteville Stingers and Duke University legend, Mr. Robert Brickey. Before we get into our final segment, which is called a Real Talk, and I say it every week, Coach Quick, and I got to be consistent. This is my favorite segment because we talk real as we get down in between the lines and we call in the paint. So in that, it is brought to you by the United States Basketball Association. Visit their website at usbahoops.com. Coach Quick, I'll let you kick it.
Yes, sir. Coach Brickey, I got to ask you this question about my guy, What do you think about LeBron James set to break the NBA all-time scoring record set by the great Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, a record that has stood the test of time for 38 years?
Man, I might speak for both of y'all right now. we never thought we'd see anybody get close to Kareem again.
No, sir.
That's correct.
I mean, you look at probably 4 through 10. They still a long way from Kareem. I mean, I was like, so this dude, I was like, he is so far out there. Nobody's going to break this record. And we have slowly witnessed history.
Yes, sir.
The commitment to taking care of your body to the point where you could be productive for 20 years. I mean, you were still an all-star. You were still a leading vote-getter for the all-star team in your 20th year. And it's not one of those, we should vote for him because, he old and he about to lead the league. No. He is still a very productive, in some ways better, because like we talked about, you look as wide ages, they say it gets better with time. You get better with time. And I was watching the game last night. I was like, he is an artist now.
Yes, sir.
He's not a basketball player. He's an artist because he understands I got to pick and choose my moments. I got to go hard enough to be able to win, but I can't play 39 minutes anymore. I got to play a little left. I got to play a little smart. I still got to be as productive. Man, he is really painting a portrait right now when the rest of them guys out there running around playing basketball. And that's been fun to watch for me. And it's the fact that all of a sudden, it's like we start hearing about him getting close to Kareem. I was like, when did this happen? If you've paid any kind of attention the last 19 years, he came in the league average 28 and is still average 28. So it's just an unbelievable tribute to commitment to be great.
Absolutely. And at the time of this recording, he's 63 points away from passing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Just an outstanding body of work. He's my guy, and I think I can speak for all of us and say that what he's doing, we'll never see this repeated.
Man, you think about how many times there's only been a handful of guys that have played 20 years. There's been some guys that have been in the league 20 years. There's not many guys that have played all 20 years. And so to stay healthy, to stay productive, that's amazing. That's an amazing feat.
Absolutely. Coach G, I'll kick it over to you.
Well, look, I done ran some numbers while you brothers were talking. And if somebody rolls up here and beats LeBron record and it take him 38 years, dude, I'll be 94. Coach Quick,
yes, sir.
Coach Quick, you're younger than me. I want you to check on me now. I plan to still be around. So if I'm around, you make sure you roll up on me and say, Coach, somebody broke LeBron's record. But all seriousness, you just think, when you stop and you think about that, and Coach Brickey nailed it. I grew up watching Kareem play. And I watched him, not during his heyday, once he got to L.A. in the 80s and he was doing the thing with the skyhook. You never thought that. And think about how Jabbar did that. He did that on the block. He wasn't shooting threes.
Right.
He did that in the low post, right? So with that patented skyhook, which is like incredible and it's never been mastered, and why people don't want that, that's a whole different show. But Coach Brick is exactly right. When you get somebody out there that has done it as long as LeBron has, and here's where I want to go. I really get sick and tired of people really using the axe and grinding on LeBron. I don't get it. I don't know where that comes from. But instead of being able to just enjoy that body of work, just like me, I'm gonna have a transparent moment here. I don't like to engage any conversation when people say who's better, LeBron, Jordan, the coach. I shut down and I'll sit over there like I don't know nothing that they talking about.
Right.
Because my thing is enjoy what you've been able to see. I have been blessed to be able to see Tiger Woods. I've been blessed to be able to see Muhammad Ali, Abdul-Jabbar, Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, and the list goes on and on across all sports platforms. And when you try to say who's the, why are you trying to do that? As a person that I call myself a student of the game, why don't I appreciate each individual for their body of work? That's just my opinion. And I don't want to get in and be able to go, man, he's better than, he's got 6 rings. And okay, if that's the case, then Bill Russell's the best basketball player ever. If you're going to say just off of rings, there's been great players that never won a championship. Karl Malone was a great player. So when people try to put me in that box, I just try to sit back and say, how come we just can't enjoy? Because you're not going to change my opinion. And I'm not going to change yours, Coach, and I'm not going to change Coach Brickey's, but I'll get off my soapbox. But in that is a huge, I don't want to call it a thorn in my side, but that really bothers me when people don't appreciate that individual's body of work and then be able to move on without trying to tear that one guy down. And I mean, LeBron, the things that he's done off the court has been phenomenal. He's the first billionaire player that's still playing the game that reached that pinnacle as it relates to dollar value. So, what he's done as a human being off the court is more importantly what he's ever doing on the court. So, I appreciate you taking that question. Appreciate you lining that out, Coach Quick. But what we're going to do, we're going to step away right here in the middle of Real Talk, and we'll be right back.
Looking for something fun but different to do? Join a group of friends, family, or coworkers to destroy electronics, break some glass, or even throw some axes. At the Havoc House located downtown Waynesboro, Virginia, visit their website at havochouseva.com and book your appointment today.
This is Bobby Collins, the head men's basketball coach at T. Shaw University. And you're listening to the GQ Coaches Show, the real talk in sports on ESPN 1240, The Boss. Hey, this is Kenny Anderson, 5th men's basketball coach. And you're listening to GQ Coaches Show, the real talk in sports on ESPN Radio 1240, The Boss.
All right, this is Coach Goins along with Coach Quick and our very special guest. That's right. We are in the professional basketball realm this week, and we have on head men's basketball coach, Mr. Robert Brickey of the Fayetteville Stingers. Somebody said, why does that name ring a bell? Yes, he wore number 21 when he was at Duke. Yeah, he had 147 dunks. Yeah, he played for Coach K. Yeah, he was one of them legendary Duke guys. But he's a brother of ours and a friend of both of our shows. He's been on our podcast several times. I've been on his radio show, chopping it up, talking about the NCAA last year. People thought I was crazy, Coach Brickey, when I was talking about Zach Edey and the Purdue Boilermakers, but who's the number 1 team in the country? But I'll leave that alone. That's another show. So with that, Coach Quick, I'll kick it to you.
Absolutely. Coach Brickey, I got to ask you, although I know what you might say, but what is your Final Four as of today? And
man, you know what? I don't know if I can give you one. I watched so much NBA basketball that I haven't followed college basketball very closely. Although Purdue, let me tell you, Zach Edey is going to be a long-time good professional. I love that kid, man. I've seen Purdue play like twice, and he's just smart. Anyway, that's like you said, that's another show. Man, I saw Kansas play early. I think they've got a shot. Gonzaga. Man, outside of that, I couldn't tell you. I don't know.
Yes, it's tough right now. To me, there's so much parity in college basketball this year, and it may be somebody outside of the top 15 that wins it.
Right. Like when those schools like Creighton get hot at the right time, get the right matchups.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And you can't count out those Cavaliers of Virginia, those Tar Heels from North Carolina, or those Blue Devils from Durham. Blue Devils.
Listen, if you got a crystal ball or a magic 8-ball, that your guess is as good as mine. I mean, nobody knows at this point, man, because like you said, there's just so much parity. It's just hard to make any kind of prediction.
Absolutely. Let's get locked and loaded and get ready for an outstanding March Madness. But lace those sneakers up tight.
But you know what, Coach Brickey just dated himself.
Yes.
If people didn't hear that, and we not editing it, he said the Magic 8 Ball. So if people don't know what that Magic 8 Ball is, that y'all gonna have to Google it. And I can remember walking in the store. I think it was called Spencer's. Right, you walk in there and you'd pick that thing up, and it'd have that little the bottom where you could see through that water, and you turn it, and then the little piece would show up, and you'd ask whatever. But yeah, when he said that Magic 8 Ball, that's where my mind went. So here's where I want to go real quick, Coach Quick and Brickey, before we start wrapping this thing up. It's kind of broad stroke, but and I'm gonna paint this broad stroke. But if you don't mind, tell our listening audience, what is one of your most memorable moments in the Duke uniform?
This is a strange story. We're warming up. Okay, so my freshman year, during the course of my 4 years, my parents came to every home game and most road games. And this was the early days of Duke before, all this new stuff. But they literally sat beside the coaches on the bench. And so one game, we warming up, and Billy King asked me, he said, man, where your parents? I was like, good question. I don't know. Maybe they got stuck in traffic. And we get close to the tip-off, and my parents are still not there. And Billy said, we can't start the game till your parents get here. One of my favorite memories is my parents had an opportunity to be a big part of my time at Duke University. And they were beloved by, the team and the Duke community. So just those are the best memories, is just when they had fun participating as much as I had fun.
That's special. And again, we do want to honor your father. I know he served our country, retired Army veteran. So we definitely want to, send our love and appreciation to your father, as well as your mother, who was an educator, and your oldest brother, and your brother Cedric, who I know quite well because he and I attended the same university, and that was Pembroke State University, but now the University of North Carolina at Pembroke. Coach Quick. I'm not a Tar Heel, but in that UNC system, but I never drank that Tar Heel blue. So with that, Coach Quick, I'll kick it to you.
Yeah, Coach Brickey, if we got time for one more, let's talk about some of your battles with Brian Stitt of Virginia.
Man, let me tell you what. I hosted Brian Stitt on his visit to Duke. And, man, he was a different guy. Like, he was very settled as a young man. Like, he kind of was into what he was into and, very focused on what he wanted to do. We freshmen, we try to have a good time because we're in college, But man, we got on the floor. Like, he never got the press nor the hype, but he was always one of the big reasons you end up winning. Because he could defend, he was athletic, he could shoot the three, put it on the floor, and then quietly had an excellent NBA career. That guy was a player, man. So. He's just one of the guys you don't want to play against because he did a lot of things. Okay, most guys, you say, okay, he likes to do A. We can take away A. Well, he can do A, B, C, and D. And so it was like, you got to pick your poison. And, he was smart on top of that. So, he was one of them guys you didn't know on the other side of the court because you knew it was going to be a long night.
Absolutely. Yeah, Coach C, kicking it over to you.
Well, you know what? Since we going back in time, right? I got to tell you this story, Coach Quick, and I might have told you this before. There was nothing like the E.E. Smith Golden Bulls, right? From the band to the basketball team, the smooth Coach Ike Walker. I mean, you got to realize, man, when you're in high school, you look up to those coaches, and you don't realize that there's Coach Ike Walker, there's Coach the late Coach Jeff Capel, and the late Coach Ike Walker, and then also the legendary coach that was at Kentucky. And people say, man, he was at Hope County. Yes, he was at Hope County High School, and went on through it. And went to High Point College and then went on. So Coach Tubby Smith, all of those guys, as a young man in high school, those were high school coaches then. And people say, what? Yeah, they were high school coaches. But in that, you go to the E.E. Smith Pinecrest game. There was 2 guys in there, and those guys could get off the floor. And one of them is our guest today, which is Mr. Robert Brickey and Antonio Johnson. It would be like the first 4 points for both teams would be dunks, right? You were not for $5. Think about it, for $4 or $5 back then. And if you bought your ticket early at lunchtime, you got it for $3. Right? So in that, when you got that, guess what? You were able to get you like, man, for $3 I saw all of this. But that just shows you the quality of college basketball, high school basketball then. And now, why were we surprised that these guys went on and started in the ACC? Just because they were doing it at the high school level under the tutelage of some dynamic role models. But just again, and as I start wrapping this thing up, we wish you 1,000-fold blessing, Coach Brickey, for everything that you're going to be doing with the Fayetteville Stingers, and just it's going to be great. And we're going to look at our schedule. We're going to carve out some time and slide down and pay some homage and enjoy the game and do what we can do, and we can collaborate and we can talk about that stuff for days to come. But I just want to thank you for your time tonight, stepping away from your duties to jump on and to make our show go. Coach Quick, your comments.
Hey, Coach Brickey, it's always an honor to have you on the podcast and on the GQ Coaches Show. You're a very, very nice person, and I just appreciate your body of work. Even though I'm a heel, hey, I got to get a love to the Duke Blue Devil, my man. I certainly appreciate you.
Hey, man, I received those blessings, and I appreciate you guys. I'm going to send some blessings your way. Just keep doing what you're doing, and you're growing and getting better. And I appreciate your heart because you love the game, you love sports, and you're doing a fantastic job of bringing it all together and presenting it to the people. So thank you for what you do.
Coach Quick, man, I tell you what, if you're not down Tobacco Road, you down Tobacco Road and you took a hard left and slid over to the Medical City and made them contacts at Duke University. And how about that, to be able to have on a legend? And when people know Duke basketball and really, really know basketball, they know who our very special guest was tonight. And that was Mr. Robert Brickey, who is now head basketball coach for it's a developmental league, but still it is still pro basketball in Fayetteville, heading up the Fayetteville Stingers. And just, you know what, I don't know about you, but it's like there were so many avenues that we could go down and talk about, but we couldn't just because time wouldn't let us go. So what's your thoughts on that?
Hey, I completely agree with you, Coach G. You, myself, and Coach Brickey, we could have sat here for a number of hours and just chopped it up about life and basketball in general. Man, like you said, there's a number of avenues that we could have went down, but just being able to sit here and chop it up with a Duke University legend who played at the highest pinnacle, went to 3 straight Final Fours with Duke, man, it was outstanding just having him on the show today. I always joke with him about me being a heel, and we get a good laugh out of that. I just really enjoy having Robert Brickey around, and can't wait to March Madness and be able to chop it up with him some more.
Well, you know what? When I was bringing him over on the call, and I said, "Hold on, let me bring on Coach Quick." He said, "Don't tell me Quick's on there too." And I was like, without a doubt. And like he said, y'all should be a law firm with it Goins and Quick. And then and that's what makes it so nice to be able to have on guests, whether you're a Carolina guy, whether you're a Virginia guy, is be able to understand that we get on, we chop it up, we're on the grind to be able to bring out each and every week that all-star guest and be able for our listening audience to be able to step into those guys' life, those guys share. It's all about the relationship to be able to dip in. But you know what? Some breaking news came across before we came on, so let's touch on that real quick. What do you think? But Kyrie Irving says, I want to be traded.
And it's very interesting considering the Brooklyn Nets are playing well. There's cemented in the playoffs if the playoffs were to start today. But it's very interesting that Kyrie wants out now. I think he's trying to push his way to the Lakers. And for one, I would love to see it.
All right, so we'll see what happens. And by the taping of this show, we don't know at this point, but it was breaking news. So with that, Coach Quick, you know where to take us.
Coach Coach Goins, our very special guest, the head coach of the Fayetteville Stingers. He's also a Duke men's basketball legend, Mr. Robert Brickey. And for myself, Coach Quick, we'll see you in the locker room.
You have been listening to the GQ Coaches Show with Coaches G and Q, the real talk in sports, on ESPN Radio, 1240 The Boss,